Dr. Vikki Petersen here. A reader writes in that he knows that he's gluten sensitive. He's been taking an enzyme, and this enzyme is supposedly designed to help him digest gluten better so that he doesn't have symptoms. And he was wondering, he's been doing this, and his question was, it seems to be okay. What do you think? Will this allow me and others to eat gluten occasionally successfully? So I was very glad that that question was asked, because I definitely have some information I'd like to share with you. So there are some enzymes out there that are designed to help someone digest gluten better. But what does that really mean? So I went to this particular website of the enzyme in question, and what they say is that it will help improve symptoms associated with gluten intolerance or celiac disease. So that's really the key word there, is symptoms, because there's a big difference between having a symptom and then having the problem completely corrected. So what we know about gluten in sensitive individuals is that it can create a lot of damage. It can create gut damage. It can create damage to the nervous system, the thyroid, the liver, a number of different parts of the body. And we also know that one of the most insidious parts of gluten, or aspects of gluten, is that it is silent in many cases. Maybe a third to a quarter of the time is it associated with digestive complaints. The vast majority of the time it's pretty silent. You can't feel thyroid disease until you're so far down the line that you actually have it. You can't feel colon cancer until you're so far down the line that you have it. Same with diabetes, same with depression. There's a lot of diseases that take some time to develop, and the problem is there. The inflammation, the degradation is occurring, but you don't know it until it's so far advanced. Now you have a symptom. So when you have something that's maybe lessening bloating and gas, or lessening constipation or diarrhea, it's lessening it, and it might be attenuating or lessening the effects a bit. But does that make it safe? Not at all. So where research stands currently, and I recently spoke to doctors from Stanford, as well as Dr. Fasano from the University of Maryland, and these are gentlemen who are completely dedicating their lives to research of gluten, trying to find a safe enzyme, a safe medication that someone with celiac or gluten intolerance can take and completely eradicate any negative effects of gluten, because that's really where it has to be. It can't be that I eat it and I don't quite notice effects. That's a very far cry from eating it and it not affecting your health in a negative way. See, that's really apples and oranges. So I recently met with several of these individuals, and they are working night and day trying to develop such a product, enzyme, drug, what have you. And it's not there yet. It's not on the market. As a matter of fact, it's minimally 5 years from being on the market, based on some researchers that I spoke to. And that's not even a guarantee, because in about a 7-year span of time to develop something that looked promising and take it all the way through to being available for you and I to take, it's about a 7-year span minimally, and anywhere along those 7 years something could happen to show that it's not what the researchers thought it was, and then it's a failure. So there have been a lot of failures. There haven't been any successes yet. We're definitely crossing our fingers for one, but it's not on the market yet. So these enzymes that are currently on the market making claims that, oh sure, you can eat gluten occasionally and take this and you'll be fine, that's not true, and I don't want you to do it. So now, does that mean if you had this enzyme on hand and you went out and you come back home and say, uh-oh, within a short period of time, I think I got into some gluten based on how I'm feeling. Could perhaps taking that enzyme lessen your discomfort from being glutened, as people like to call it? that's very possible, and I don't see a negative with that. But if you start thinking you can take that enzyme and it's safe, and now you're not doing yourself any harm, that is not the case. Not to mention my last point, which is that once a gluten intolerant person starts eating gluten, you start craving it more and more. So you're getting yourself in a really sticky situation with that. You start eating some, and then your body wants more and more because the whole cravings set in. So at this point, I'm sorry, it's not good news, but it is good news from the viewpoint that a zero tolerance policy on gluten is going to really increase your health status. So don't flirt with these enzymes. It's dangerous, and I really, really don't recommend it. But believe me, as soon as the real thing is out there, I will let you know. So until next time, I wish you very good health.